So back out here again. Haven't really had too much time out here lately, just with Christmas and all that sort of going on. Yeah, also working through Christmas period, so don't really have too much time. Plus trying to catch up on sleep, you end up missing time because you're sleeping, and I'm shitful for sleeping in. But yeah, did get out here Christmas Eve. Got the guards painted. They're definitely no show job. Texture he has. I wasn't having a win with the gun. Plus I'm no expert. So the other reason why I wasn't too fussed about the paint on the guards is because they're bloody tight. Just from welding and that, I knew it was going to grow. And they were tight, and look, I could go back, shrink it, stretch it, all that sort of shit, but yeah, I just want them done. I want my trailer back, so being lazy probably doesn't pay off 100%, but I don't really care. Guards on there, looks good enough. And yeah, as you can see, bit of paint off. Doesn't really matter, I'll just brush touch it, it's no biggie. And yeah, being that tight though, they're on there now, so they won't come loose. Plus having the 3 bolts inside there, yeah, they shouldn't be going anywhere. They're slightly higher now, which means I'll probably lose being able to open the door of the Corolla now. But more clearance for the tyres. Was going to get a lower tyre, but means I've got to sell these. Nobody wants them, so these tyres are staying. I've cleaned up all my gouges and scratches from me being hashing undies before. Just brush touched them. Was going to go around a second time, but you wouldn't believe it actually started raining in Portland. Anyway, so I'll get that done another day. Good thing about this Luxethane Dulux paint is it's recoatable. You don't need to do a whole lot of prep, it'll stick again, and it's always been recoatable, hence why I've resprayed sections and whatnot. But I've been asked to do a job. Pop's come into a bit of mischief with his old greenfield that he's got. He's been doing too many runny rollbacks with his size 12s, and wrote the bracket that does the forward reverse pedal off. So I've started on it now. Put a tack each end, 2 in the middle, kept them away from the bolt holes, even if they aren't near them. It's yeah, I'm trying to keep them out of the way. So that's a little bit of strength there. He just wanted it welded on the inside. Sort of thought about that, but in my opinion, I don't know if it probably would last, but in my opinion, it's welded in there, and it's sort of got pressure coming from sort of this side going that way. It's going to try and open up, especially with a crack here. Try and open up, because unless I grind it out in there, which is a pain in the ass, yeah, it wouldn't have full peno. So what I've done is just put the 2 tacks in there, near a bit of strength, and then what I've done is I've actually V'd, if you can see it, V'd that out with the grinder almost all the way through. Started doing welds now. Yeah, the welds aren't pretty, but they're good enough. It's all about the pinner. So I'll do that, fill it up, and it should have enough sort of body on the weld to where I can polyfan it, round the edge off again, and it basically won't look like it's ever been broken, except for having welds in there. And yeah, got to keep it basically 90, otherwise it won't bolt up properly. So he's even put the big cube of Briggs and Stratton in it. Did a bit of a conversion on that. Yeah, I don't think he wants to do any LSs, so sorry about that, guys, but yeah, so I'll get this fixed for him and get him back going again. While I was waiting for the bracket to cool down, I ended up making up the wires for the clearance lights, on the guards of the trailer. So I've just chopped them back here, put more wiring on there, so there's plenty there to work with. Also staggered the joints, because if I put them next together, by the time you solder it, heat shrink it, could end up a lot wider. And the thing is, for these guards, is they bolt to the outside here, go through that hole there, down inside the stay tube there, and then out the hole at the end there. So it should be alright, but yeah, doesn't hurt to stagger them, keeps them fairly slim in there. They won't be sort of binding up as easy. So did that. Also, the other thing is too, when you do this, always test it in case you do a shitty solder joint or the light's no good. Also, most people think black is negative. Most of the time it is, yeah. But you test it on a battery, so light works. Black's positive, white's negative. So that can happen as well. A lot of things I have seen can be that way. Also, a lot of Chinese stuff, cheap sort of lights and stuff, tend to be that way. So yeah, it's always pays to test things, just in case. Yeah, you just go, oh look, yep, black's negative, and then you wonder why your lights don't work. So that's the bracket basically done. So yeah, just a quick tidy up. So I'll give it some paint now, and he should be right to go again. With that bracket done, that should get pop going again. Hopefully it doesn't get too towy and break it, but I reckon it'll be right. So I've got the firewall tacked together, so it's a lot more solid now. It's not trying to fall apart on me like it was. It's fitting up not too bad. It's pretty center. I've marked it at the bottom, and it's even both sides, so I'm pretty happy with that. Just got to organise, the new welder, set up a TIG, hopefully TIG it all together. That's why I've tried to keep the gaps as tight as I can. At the same time, I don't build anything without gaps, so there are some gaps around here that are a bit ordinary. I'll take my time, figure that out. At least with it being TIG'd, I can keep the temp down, I can work the welds a bit better. Just makes it a lot better for doing this sort of work and trying to keep it as smooth as possible. So with the floor, it's fitting not too bad. Like it's sitting forwards at the moment, but you push it back, it starts to line up. But I can hammer the floor around. I've also got to hammer the floor out there, but I'll probably hammer this back as well to meet. So it's going to stick out that side a little bit more than what I wanted, but with carpet and shit all over it, you're not really going to see it, so it's not really phasing me too much. All I'm sort of looking at now is probably this tub. So I've got to build wheel tubs for it, so I've got to figure out what shape I want to go. I'm sort of looking at maybe doing a wheel tub that's sort of shaped to the same sort of dimension as what the wheel arches are. So I could weld round wheel arches in it, but I'm not a fan of having square wheel arches with round tubs. I've also got to do along the tops of the tubs, so get that square tube off the ground so I'm not tripping over it. I've got to do this cross member as well, front. I've also got to do the one at the rear. Got to figure out what I want to do there. So been out here today, not really working on the truck. Ended up swapping the diff center out in the Datsun. Originally it came in 4.6s, now it's back to 4.11s, so hopefully it won't rot itself. Try and do pulls out the highway, get out the road. So cheers Thomas for the help. Cheers Mark and Sody for getting the diff back here for me. Much appreciated. Took it for a drive, and yeah, it's perfect. Got rid of the steel on the floor because I've started having a look at the sides. So this is the idea I was talking about. Instead of just building sides and try and make it suit and still have to figure out tyre rails, this is the idea. So square tube along the side, basically flush in line with the quarter, weld it to. A few people will be going, fuck, that's a bit rough. But hopefully I can get it done to where it's not too bad. Run a filler, I don't care. Run a filler, and then I've also got some steel pipe. So I'll set that up, probably radius the ends, depending on what I plan to do. And then yeah, it'll basically just weld to the bottom. So your tyre rails are basically your tub. and you'll be able to tie everything to it and nothing will flex, everything will all be tight and securely mounted. And then I'll do one across the front to tie off the end of the front wall here. Just currently they're just sitting in there. I've trimmed them to sort of suit. The only thing is I cut, measure in the quarter and cut it straight, but when you look down an Effie quarter, they've got a slight radius to them, but this pulls in pretty nicely, so pulls back fairly flush. And with the rounded edge there, I should be able to get some weld in there and hopefully not distort too much at the quarter. And I've got a big piece of cardboard there, so I'm going to use that to template the wheel arch. So I'm going to trace around the shape of the wheel arch. I'll probably do the other side, seeing that there's no bottoms on there. Get that shape, and then I'm going to sort my height out. It's basically, that's pretty close to where I want it sitting. And also make sure I've got enough travel, so it's going to be sort of up here or yay down, whatever. And I'll mark that out on the cardboard as well. And then I'll get a sheet of steel. Plan is probably only go 2mm, because this thing ain't slinging tyres all the time sort of thing. And yeah, 3mm is just going to be retardedly heavy. 2mm will still handle getting shit thrown in the back and all that sort of stuff. So I reckon, yeah, 2mm will be enough. So I'll make the shape out, and that'll give me an idea of where the wheel tubs are going to sit. And then I'll build the inners. Still got to plan how to do that, because I want to do like a radius edge. And yeah, that's another pain in the ass to do. But and then once that's done, yeah, I can start filling in those gaps there. So if you haven't got one, get one of these. Keep saying everything's better than sliced bread, but fucking this shit's all over sliced bread. About $8 off eBay. It's just basically a little transfer pump. Takes 2 D-size batteries. And for this job, this is the other reason why I run pump gas in the Corolla, is what I don't use, I can take it out and put it in the daily driver. So yeah, basically put it on, put the batteries in, boom. No mucking around with jiggler hoses and shit. And yeah, for the $8, can't remember what the batteries are. Fucking makes life so much easier. So if you haven't got one, get one of these. So I finally lashed out, it's turned up. Got myself a new GoPro. Put a dent in the wallet. Fuck me, bud. Should be worth it though. Brand new GoPro. The reason I went for the latest one was they got the LCD on the front, so when I'm filming myself, I can actually see where the camera's at. Also, the lens is detachable, so you can put different lenses on there, replace it if you break it, that sort of thing. You've probably seen the ads on Facebook and shit like that, where they're having the bundle and that, so I ended up buying that. Comes with a spare battery and a few other bits, so it'll come in handy. So yeah, hopefully that'll improve these videos a bit. You might be able to actually see more of what I'm doing, not just me crapping on. Gotta love the smell of opening new boxes, but even better, stickers! Yeah, basically that'll be the full setup once all completed. So basically just, yeah, a few things to pack. So hopefully it serves well and we can get some good footage.